One time the dude told me, one time the son said, "You ain't my daddy." Now that's one thing you don't say to a man that ain't your daddy. Don't remind him that you ain't his daddy. You ain't you.
What's going on, y'all, man? It's King Clef holding it down for the cool tipper, man. I'm right back at you. Deontay Wilder, one of the dopest fighters. If you haven't seen or heard, you need to check into him, Google and research him. But most people, I think, have heard of this guy and know of this guy. And yeah, he's a big breadwinner and a champion. But nonetheless, he felt some pain that even he couldn't dodge, bob and weave, or fight back from in the ring, from a child that he was raising, and the ex-girlfriend. And yeah, I think it's a cautionary tale that we might want to dive into. So check it out.
I took the role of being your son father, not just a daddy, but a father.
Right.
I went in so hard, bro. I went in so hard to the point where I put them on my wheel. I had a meeting with my kids. I said, how y'all feel if I scoot y'all over? I scoot over a little slide and let somebody else get a little bit of it. And my kids are amazing. They're my best friends. And they was down with it. So I moved a little space over and added her son. And I'm like, you ain't even my son for real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, that has to take a toll.
I put her in my wheel as well too. Yeah. You was just my girlfriend. You ain't even my wife.
I hope that still ain't dead now.
Yeah, man. I hope that still ain't. One time the dude told me. One time the son said, "You ain't my daddy."
Damn. I'm sorry. Cause
my daddy. Now that's one thing you don't say to a man that ain't your daddy. Don't remind him that you ain't his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Don't remind me that.
I know that, but you ain't got
right. I done fed you, took you on all these trips, giving you a beautiful life.
Yeah.
I ain't your daddy. I'm put you on my wheel. Bro, when he did that, bro, I ran to my lawyer to try to get that, you know what I mean? Because I felt like I was finna have a heart attack.
I make that deal. How about you bitch? You make that deal?
I make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
These are the reasons why many people say don't even get involved in these situations. These are the things and the situations that make it difficult to motivate yourself or others to even consider this type of shit. And I know it's difficult out here. I know the older we get, it's going to be less likely that you find somebody without a child. But I'm just saying, if you have the option, this is why you want to make sure that you have complete control of your situation, or at least complete domain of your situation. This is why many people say, don't even bother with that shit, man. Don't even put yourself in that situation. And I say, personally, evaluate the situation thoroughly before you put yourself in that situation. Find out how far your reach can go, because you need to have the range as close to it being your own child as possible. You need to be able to discipline your child, raise your child how you want to. You need to be able to run your household the way you need to run your household. All these variables need to be in order for the house to be in order. And if you don't have those things in order, you run the risk of shit like this. Now, this is a strong alpha dude. I don't believe that he was in here on some bitch nigga shit. I think he was on the top of his game and shit and was trying to do something at the corner of his heart. And I believe the child was probably on some bullshit. But you could talk yourself out of your blessing. You can ruin your own situation by being emotional and being childish. And that's what the young man did. He fucked up his own thing. He ended up hurting his father figure. And now the father figure, who's had to even lie to himself in order to just be a father to you, has to feel that pain. And so it's just a whole domino effect that is unnecessary many times, but sometimes unavoidable. I mean, the older you get, you're going to run into more women with children. It's hard to find a woman that doesn't have a child unless she's like young in her 20s, or unless she's made very healthy, wise decisions along the way. So, you have to really be able to pinpoint the variables and look at the variables and then see and weigh the variables out to see if it's something that you can deal with and to make sure that it's something that you can actually function in and thrive in yourself, not be stifled by. You don't want to be carrying on this extra weight and extra baggage if it's going to drown you and hurt you in the long run. So you need to know these type of things. In my situation, the little girl, she was very, very young. And me and the mother had an understanding that I had free reign of discipline, raising, and taking care and imparting this, whatever knowledge I could and wisdom I could as a father into her life. And I raised her for about 4 years. So, and the baby father was nowhere in the picture. He was long gone. It was, it was a situation that could work for me, right? Where it didn't take away from my authority. It actually enhanced my authority. And it showed that she had trust in the decision making and the leadership in the household. And so the order was together. Now we're not together now, that's a whole different thing, and there's variables to that, but that's a different situation, a different conversation for a different day. The point I'm saying is that right now, the example I'm using is just that everything had to be in order for the household to be in order. So make sure it's in order. Before you invest your time, resources, love, energy, wisdom, whatever it is that you bring to the table, before you do all that, make sure everything is in order so that way you can come out that situation as well with growth and something to gain versus something just drained from you, right? And being used. And that's how he feels in this situation. He feels like, no, nigga, I put you in my will. I put your mama in my will. I've given you everything. I've raised you as much as I raised my own children. And now you turn around and bite the hand that literally feeds you. And that's a disappointing feeling. It makes you feel stupid. I can only imagine how he feels, especially because he's in a percentile of men that this probably shouldn't be happening to, if you feel what I'm saying. So it can be an ego bruiser as well, a heart bruiser, an ego bruiser, a mental conundrum, because now you having to ponder the decisions you made and the decisions you're going to make going forward. So long story short, man, it's just wise to avoid it if possible. If you can't, make sure that before you dive in it, everything is all together and workable for all parties involved. Yourself, the woman, the child, but in particular yourself, because you the foundation of this shit. And if the foundation is faulty and cracky, it ain't gonna stand no damn way. So you got to make sure that you're going to be whole in this situation as much as possible. Facts.